So, in the news cycle, there has been a lot of things going on. I heard something that I wasn't aware of. In Britain, in Wales, Britain, a kid was killed or murdered 2, 3 years ago or something like that. Teenager, 18, 19 years old. And I'm assuming that some some Islamic guys had robbed him or did something to him. He was basically defending himself, but he was murdered. So when the cops got there, the Islamic guys, and I'm assuming they're Islamic, I've seen video, I've heard commentary, but it's hard to put together because these people speaking this British English, I couldn't follow, and people didn't want to show this and didn't want to show that because the kid had been stabbed or whatever. It was just hard to follow. But from what I could gather, kid was killed. The individuals who killed him, when the cops got there, said that he said some mean things to us. So they basically took their time, didn't try to get medical there in a hurry, didn't try to do anything medically themselves. The kid died in their custody. So I'm assuming a trial just happened or something like that. Something dealing with the case. It's in the news cycle, so something big happened. But I do know this. A lot of European people, especially European white people, are outraged. Hell, there's white cats in this country, in America, fighting mad. A lot of people are saying if that was a black man or a Islamic dude that died and a white boy was the cause, it would have been like George Floyd. I don't disagree. This is the danger of these race hustlers. These grifters, these devils. This is the danger that they have put people in, society in, no matter if you're in Britain or the United States. Them trying to cause racial damage, racial harm. And it didn't start yesterday, it didn't start 2 years ago. But we're living in it now. We lived 2, 3 years ago in it. A lot of people have speculated a lot of conspiracy theories because even though this was prevalent back in 2014, it was gaining more and more momentum in 2013, 14, 15. In my opinion, it peaked around the 2019, 2020 era or time period. So, is it a conspiracy to say it was a deliberate act with the George Floyd thing, with the Black Lives Matter thing? Yeah, all that was deliberate. All they needed was one more incident. I think they had the Jacob Blake thing. They had another thing. Dude hid behind his girlfriend and the cop shot and killed her. The kid up in where was it, Missouri, that robbed the place, tried to take the cop's gun and the cop took his other weapon and shot the kid. They needed one more incident to unleash their plans, and that was George Floyd. That's why they can't let it die. That's why they hold this dude up like he's Christ. Like he's bigger than life. One of the greatest figures ever. They got murals, they got statues, they got streets named after this dude because they needed that one incident to launch their fury. So 4 or 5 years later, 6, 7 years later, 6 years to be exact, and I can't remember the exact date it happened, but I'm just going to say 6, 7 years later, you having things happen in other countries, but it's all a race divide. You got people in this country now, politicians from Grandma Joe to Senator so-and-so. They can't let this race grift go. I understand it. It's a $1 trillion business. I understand that. But if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Am I part of the problem? Am I helping with this race divide? If a cops get killed, get ambushed and killed 2 days from now, am I assisting in that? These people can't look themselves in the mirror and ask them simple questions. We all know they're crazy. And I'm talking about Democrats, liberals, socialists, and Marxists. You know who I'm talking about. The same people who will go to a detention center, paid or unpaid, and cause havoc. The people who would get out there in the streets and riot and protest and cause havoc. We talking about the same people. But it's another entity that wants and needs this racial divide. So on a smaller scale, let me put it to you like this. We all know about the Southern Poverty Law Center. They can't exist unless they got chaos. Unless somebody burns a cross in somebody's yard in South Carolina. Unless they see a noose hanging from a garage in Talladega, Alabama. Unless some black kid tried to rob somebody and gets shot in self-defense or gets shot by the police. These folks can't survive without chaos. That's on a smaller scale. Now look at it on the larger scale. Who's profiting and benefiting from the racial divide and the chaos? I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of opinions, and listen, I think they're all right. It's the powers that be. The Southern Poverty Law Center is just a small entity that gets millions and millions of dollars of donations to quote unquote fight racism. When they are profiting from racism. As an investigator, I learned how to put the pieces together, the when, the what, the who, the why, the how. It's like a puzzle. You put that puzzle together. Who's profiting? Who's paying? Who's benefiting? All your race hustlers and your race grifters, from your clown in Texas that's trying to be the spokesperson for this Metcalf dude, child, to small hoods like that, to your Al Sharptons, to your Barack Obamas. Who's profiting, who's paying, who's benefiting? I had an idea. It's not an original idea, but it's an idea. But see, my idea is going to fall flat on its face because don't matter who you talk to, don't matter who you try to commandeer, if they ain't getting that money, they won't have nothing to do with it. You know how Farrakhan did the Million Man March? It was somewhere in the mid to late 90s. Very successful. Very successful. And that Million Man March, in my opinion, I know you had black folks coming out the yin yang to go to this thing. I don't think it was racist. I don't think it was about racism, even though you might have a little bit of that mixed in. In my opinion, from what I heard from participants and for people who believed in that movement, it was about unity. You ever heard the song Self-Destruction from the late 80s? You're headed for self-destruction. Well, we were headed for self-destruction. Selling dope. You had more black men incarcerated than ever any other time in time. Killing and fighting and burning down shit. We were self-destructing. And Farrakhan, which, listen, my opinion on Farrakhan don't matter in this discussion, but all he wanted was to unify. And that's the idea I had. If I could reach some ministers, black and white, green and yellow, purple and gold, and real men with balls, not soy boys, not toe touching, pink panty wearing soy boys, real men. If I could reach enough with big brains and come up with this unity faction. So see, you got so many conferences and so many this and that, especially during the spring and summertime. Who's gonna have time to unify, to come together and try to bring others together? Who's gonna have time? Vacations and listen, there's a lot going on. You have to ask yourself, is anything I'm involved with now bigger than unifying the men in my country, the men in my community, the men in my city, the men in my state? Is it anything bigger than that right now? I don't think so. You had one entity, TPUSA, who they went to children, they went to kids to minister, to give wisdom. All I ask is that us as men can come together and do the same. Because see, unless they see this on a large scale, the black man, the white man unified to fight against this racism, this grift, this divide. Unless they see that Hispanic man and that white man and that black man come together to fight this democratic machine, this liberal Marxist machine. We're going to get up every day saying the same old thing, getting on platforms and fussing and cussing. But we got to unify, y'all. We got to unify. A lot of people get in contact with me and reach me, and that's it. Give me an email. BLK_MAN3 @yahoo.com. Let me repeat that. BLK_3 @yahoo.com. BLK_MAN3. I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. BLK_MAN3 @yahoo.com. Send me an email. Reach out to your pastor. Reach out to your community leaders. Reach out to your city leaders. Whoever. No matter how big, how small. Let's come together, man, and fight this machine. We can do it. Together, we can do it. And I'm going to end with this. Come up with a creative way to do my platforms. Each topic, each subject is going to be on a certain umbrella. If it's about individuals or an individual, it'll be on the table 3. If it's about sports, it'll be on field 3 or locker 3. And just news of the day like this, it'll be on page 3. So join me again. I appreciate you. I love you. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, we keep him first. That's the way. That's the only way we do it. He has to be the first and the last. Alpha and Omega. I'll see you next time.